Hi.
Hello, Marilyn. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning, Marilyn.
Good morning.
Morning.
Is it
Good
time
to
for
see.
lunch yet?
Okay, so we're cruising through chapter 4. I believe we left off around here where Rabbi Nehorai says, go to an external place of Torah and don't think it's going to come after you. And your chaver, your chavruta, your friend but meeting study partner, will make it permanent for you. Because on your own understanding, you should not lean. Okay, so many sort of subtle things here. You should have a fixed place for Torah, not just a fixed time. And don't think that it's going to come find you. You have to go do it. And your chavruta, and don't go alone. Have a chaver, have a chavruta, which is a very famous learning, method. Because on your own bina, your own understanding, don't lean. And Rabbi Yanai says, oh, this is a good one. Ein biyadenu lo mishalvat hareshaim ve'af lo misurei hatzadikim. It's not in our hands. Not the success. The shalva is a hard word to. Right, this goes back to Hebrew, Elliot. It's like there's no word for shalva, but the enrichment, the success, the contentment of reshaim, wicked people. Meaning, why do bad things happen to good people? Ve'af lo misurei tzadikim, and not even to the suffering of the righteous.
I have it translated here. It is not in our power to explain either the prosperity of the wicked or the afflictions of the righteous.
Yeah. It's certainly not. Rabbi Matya ben Charash Omer, Hevei makdim bishlom kol adam. Rabbi Matya says, now I'm really trying to be as literal here as I can be in my own limited Hebrew. Hevei makdim, be early, right? Kodem bishlom, for the peace of kol adam, of each person. So I think it means, which is what Safaria is saying, be the first to say shalom, right? But it can also be translated about be the first to inquire about shalom kol adam. Be the first to inquire about someone's shalom. Vehevei zanav la'chayot, be a tail to a lion or to the lions. Ve'al tihi rosh lashualim, and don't be a head to the foxes. So very deep Mishnah here.
Tell me what the difference. I know a lion is supposed to be the biggest, the best. Okay, is the foxes only supposed to be conniving and evil? Is that how they try to set this up and this analogy up? I find, because
I don't know. I think usually the best way to go about trying to understand something is the pshat, is the literal meaning. And so what does the tail of a lion do or serve? Why be the tail, not the head? Be the more docile part and not the head, right? The head of the lion is ferocious, I don't know.
So is the head of a fox?
The head of a fox. Yeah, it says don't be the head of a fox. It's saying be the tail of the lion. Don't be the tail of the fox.
So in other words, okay, but another thing is, okay, we're in different towns, we're in different areas. We should go to Lions is the biggest threat. We should go to the most learned school and sit in the back, and don't go to the less learned school and sit in the front. Is that what it's saying? I don't know.
It could be. It could be saying don't, perhaps keep your ego in check. Don't think that you're the head of the line. You're the tail, right? It's not that you're not the king of the jungle. Don't strive to be the king.
But we have to strive to get better. We have to strive to learn more. Okay, rather than head to foxes. So foxes must be a bad omen.
But foxes are clever.
Foxes are definitely clever.
So why should it be bad?
Some people, some people like to teach. So they go in and say, you know what? I can't teach in this place where all the lions are. I'm going to go where the foxes are. At least I'll be able to teach. Okay. And maybe I know a little bit more, but I'm going to be learning from everybody else. Because remember, I'm not supposed to depend only on myself. I'm supposed to go with everybody else. We learn from everybody. It says we learned it already. We learn from everybody. So why can't we learn from the foxes, wherever that is, or whatever that is? Okay. And learn from them as well as learn from the lions. So I'm taking this with a grain of salt.
Then what does it have to do with the first part of the verse?
That's
connection.
That's a question that I often like to ask. Yeah.
Do not depend on your own understanding. In other words, you should be in with a group. You should be in a place, but they're telling you this is the place to go. You should go to the to the lions and not to the foxes.
Maybe it has to do with, if you're supposed to be part of a group, then you have to be part of the group and not always the first one in the group, like the leader of the group. That's why you have to be at the tail, at the back.
So why wouldn't it say be the tail of the lion, not the head of the lion?
Yeah, that's why it says be a tail. So in other words, be back, not try and be the leader of the group, but to be part of the group.
But it doesn't say that. It doesn't say to be the head of the lion or the tail of the lion. It says the tail of the lion or the head of the foxes.
No, not a head onto foxes, not to be like a leader or the head of the foxes either. So I don't know, maybe that's what it.
Why can't we be the tail of the foxes and the head of the lions? I mean, I'm striving to be better. I'm striving to be better than I am.
It was probably some sort of expression at the time, and we don't know what the expression.
Oh, obviously.
I mean, I can't help but think of the famous prophecy, which I believe is in the book of Eicha, which we'll read next month or in about 6 weeks. And I'm trying to remember the exact pasuk, but it's this image of foxes on the Temple Mount, which is a sign of the coming of Mashiach and the rebuilding of the third temple. So I don't know if that plays into this at all, but when I see shualim, that's the sort of biblical image that comes to mind, which I'm sure Rabbi Yanai knew very, very well. In fact, it was not too long after that time. I don't know. It's saying strive to be veheve zanav, be a tail to the lions. So, I mean, to me, the tail of a lion offers comfort because it's their tail that perhaps they wag to swat the flies away, The
wrong part of the body.
Maybe. And don't be a head to the foxes.
I just looked it up.
Yeah.
Very generally on Google, and I didn't find anything interesting about foxes in Judaism. I asked about the Mishnah, so they brought me right back to where we are.
Right.
So I can't offer anything.
Google foxes, Temple Mount, Lamentations, and you'll probably find the. I'm 90% sure that it's in Eicha.
It says don't be a head to the foxes, but could that also refer to be not the literal head on the top of your head, body, but the head as in the leader of the fox.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, perhaps.
Maybe Gail knows this.
Good morning, Gail.
Good morning.
Oh, that's your picture.
Yes, that's my picture because I just got up and I have a horrible haircut yesterday, so I don't
That's
want
okay.
anyone to see me.
No,
So I think that Rosh Hashanah means leader and Zanav Larayot. I mean, better to be the last of the great guys than the head of the liars and cheaters.
Right.
Oh,
That's a good one.
So then the fox is a liar and a cheater and a conniver.
Yes, because the fox is always eating somebody else's, like someone else is the. Yeah, he's stealing people's lunch. He's stealing fruit from the pardes or whatever.
Yeah.
And a lion is king of the, or like a rabbi is a lion. He's the leader.
Okay, I found something here in this book. It says here, okay, he should assume the attitude that is preferable to be the tail of a lion than the head of a fox, because a lion raises his tail towards his head, while the fox drops his head towards its tail.
Interesting.
In other words,
the pshat. That's the pshat. Beautiful.
Even if a scholar is the junior of a distinguished group, he can look forward to elevating himself to the position of leadership. However, if he attaches himself to an inferior group, he may be the head, but he cannot go any higher.
Beautiful.
This is illustrated by the seating arrangement of the Sanhedrin in Jerusalem. Okay, well, we talked about the 70 members, and as you get, as the older members drop off, okay, younger members move forward.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay, so there's
Rabbi
the answer.
Yaakov. Let's see what he says. Haolam hazeh domeh liprosdor bifnei haolam haba. Very famous Mishnah. This world is but a foyer unto the next world. Hatken atzmecha biprosdor kedei shetikanesh l'tarklin. So prepare yourself in this world, in this foyer, so that you may enter into the beautiful banquet hall of Olam Haba, of the next world. Pretty light Mishnah compared to the one we just had.
That means they believed in an afterlife.
Oh yeah.
A whole other topic.
It's a whole other. I mean, and it's a topic that, I mean, as Jews, we don't really dwell on, right? But it's certainly peppered throughout our whole, liturgy. Tchiat HaMetim. I mean, it's there's definitely, there's no doubt about it that I think we believe in something else. I mean, Olam Haba is everywhere. But never do I feel that it really dictates the way we should live now. Right, like that. It seems to be the backbone of some other religions. Is like everything you do now is for then, right? But I mean, I was always taught that we do now because it's just the right thing to do, right? Mitzvot are here so that we could elevate this world. But we definitely believe in Olam Haba for sure.
But again, we're not supposed to do mitzvot so that we better ourselves in Olam Haba. We're supposed to be doing it because it's the right thing to do. It's not supposed to be reward and punishment. It's supposed to be because it's the right thing to do. But now they're telling us.
Well, I think that's the ideal.
Yes, the ideal. Who lives the ideal? Okay. So again, no matter what it is, you always need a carrot at the end of the stick to strive for.
Yeah.
Okay, as opposed to just doing it because it's the right thing.
I mean, look, motivation is a tough thing.
Yeah.
Huaya Omer, he goes on to say, Yafa sha'a achat b'tshuva u'masim tovim ba'olam hazeh mikol chaye ha'olam haba. More beautiful is an hour of tshuva and masim tovim and good deeds in this world than the entire Hayeh Ha'olam Haba, than the entire world to come. ויפה שעה אחת של קורת רוח בעולם הבא, מכל חיי העולם הזה. But 1 hour of porat ruach, which is a new
Tranquility.
expression to me, but
Bliss.
tranquility in the next world of all of this world.
An hour of bliss in the world
Yeah.
to come.
Is better than all the life of this
And all the life
world.
of this world. Yeah, that's what it's saying.
But then in the first sentence says that 1 hour of good repentance and good deeds in this world is better from all the life of next world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's contradiction.
Mm-hmm. Or it seemingly contradicts.
Here's my haircut.
So
That's
I
good.
think that this is the
short.
balance. Oh, it looks great, Gail. This is the balance to the previous Mishnah, where the previous Mishnah can lead you to believe, oh, we should do mitzvot for the next world, right, Elliot? Like we have to fix ourselves in this world because of the next world. No, they're saying no. Tshuvan masim tovim in this world is better than the whole world to come. But you also want to go to the world to come and have a good korat ruach. So you should also know that 1 hour of bliss and tranquility in the next world is better than chaye haolam hazeh. So it's, you know.
So the rabbis are always right. Nobody's wrong.
Well, that's definitely not
If
true.
you do this, you're right. If you do that, you're right. So we're all right.
But I think that they're saying that if you're doing mitzvot, then you're right. And if
It reminds me of a joke. Can I tell you guys a joke?
sure.
You hear about this guy that fell off the bicycle and he landed on his left side. He blew out his arm, his leg, and everything on his left side was finished. But at the end, he was all right.
Elliot.
Very little humor. Okay.
It's
biker's
also
joke.
that we don't know when our time of death is.
That's
So
for sure.
you don't leave off. We live in this world and present, and to be present in this world as opposed to always thinking about the next world.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. While we're in this world, we should have 1 hour of repentance, which is good because it's better than. Okay. That brings it together.
Rabbi Shimon, let's see what he has to say. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Omer, Al teratzeh et chavercha b'sha'at ka'aso. Don't try to give ratzon. Don't try to appease your friend in the hour of his anger. Ve'al tenachamenu b'sha'a shemeto mutal lefanav. And don't try to comfort him in the hour that his dead is lying before him. Ve'al tish'al lo b'sha'at nidro. Don't ask him in the hour that he's taking a vow. Ve'al tishtadel liroto b'sha'at kalkalato. And don't try to see him in the hour of his disgrace, of his kalkalato.
While he's doing something bad.
Yeah.
You know, this changed my whole life. And I remember I told you at the beginning that this is what really got me into religion, was this book. And it was this parsha, this little pasuk, okay, that really did it to me, because while I was in business, and if somebody called me up and complained about whatever, an invoice, what we did or didn't do, okay, I let them talk and I let them be angry and everything. And I said, let me study it and I'll get back to you later on or tomorrow. Okay, so this changed my whole outlook in life, because I said, you can't argue with somebody who is so upset that he's not like he normally is. And then the same thing with somebody passes away, you don't try to speak to the family or whatever. So I think this was the best one of all the 4 books or 5 books. This is the best pasuk to learn how to deal with other people. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
In every way.
In every way.
And no matter what the situation.
It's common sense. But you know what the problem with common sense is?
It's common.
It's not so common.
But it's your natural reaction. It's something you have to learn, because your natural reaction is to get to somebody's level, or to sort of be on the same plane that they are. So it's something that you really have to consciously work at.
We learned that before in the last chapter. We should try to be on the level when negotiating with somebody. Try to be on his level so you understand what he's trying to tell you.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I had a real life experience with this last week, maybe a bit over a week ago, that I actually spoke about briefly last Shabbos. And I'm sure we're all seeing all the sort of social media posts and the sort of anti-Israel sentiment, the anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism, and so if you look at the comments below, if it's an article for the Gazette or if it's a YouTube video, it just gets crazy, and it's just, there's no filter, there's no subtlety about anything, people can sort of make up their own avatars online and they could post whatever they want, and it's just gotten crazy. And my reaction was always to answer the comments, to sort of jump in and start arguing, and I was getting arthritis in my fingers from all the typing, and it was just like, and then it just became like, this is not going to change anything. This is not going to change anyone's opinion, just as their posts don't change my opinion, and then it was just, okay, I'm going to switch modes, and I'm just going to be proud to be Jewish, proud to love Israel, and the content that I'm going to put forth is going to be showing the beauty of all the things that I see and that I love. And it was like, you can't be in that exchange with someone when there's anger. Boaz taught me years ago. He was when I first came on to the shul, and he was around because he was the upstairs chazan for that high holidays. I was downstairs we're talking 2012. And so I asked Boaz, I was like, any words of advice? So he goes, don't talk politics or religion at breakfast. And when someone sends you an email that they're upset about something or whatever, he goes, don't answer, just write back, Toda, let's talk about it soon, So I thought that was excellent advice, and it's always sort of stuck with me, because let's just say there's often lots of emails exchanged, and you can't deal with someone when you're just not on the same level at all. So
However, you have to deal with it, so you can't ignore it. Especially if it's somebody within your family or a group of friends or in the synagogue, you say, okay, let's think about it and we'll get back. But you can't ignore it, as some people in the congregation have a tendency to do when you call up and say, listen, da-da, and they don't answer you. And the biggest form of disrespect is not answering. Okay. And another one is hanging up.
Mm-hmm.
That's, anyway, you have to answer, but you have to know when.
Right.
I make a long story short, I was at a pain management course run through the hospital many years ago, and it was on mindfulness, and one of the things that I came away with early on in the discussion was that you can't control other people. And I thought, wow, that is worth everything. And then I added, the other thing is that many times it's hard to control yourself, let alone trying to control somebody else. And I thought that, that's something to think about, and the other piece in something that a course that I took was they talked about taking a pause. If something is going on and you just don't know how to deal with it, you take a pause. You just stop and you take a breath. And the anachronism was stop. Is you stop, you take a breath, you observe, and then you make a plan of action, which I thought was well worth taking that course. But can't control other people.
Yeah. Or as we learned last parak, siag lachochma shtika, that the fence of wisdom is silence. And then you'll because you can't go wrong being quiet, or at least having a pause.
Right.
So,
but Elliot is sorry. Go ahead, Marilyn.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say you can't deal rationally with somebody who is irrational.
Right.
So that too it's some form of taking a pause and not answering.
Yeah, right. But Elliot's right. You have to respond, and I think part of it is you can agree to disagree, and that's important. But we have to allow respect of other people. If we want people to respect us, then oh, that's interesting.
Not a fox.
Is it a fox?
You're on mute.
Marilyn, you're on mute.
Marilyn,
you're
on
muted.
Yeah, I realize that. It's a cat and something. But this is an incredible book. There's a series of books. It happens to be written by a cousin of mine. But what he does is what he says, and maybe this is a little off topic, but you don't have to love whomever you're dealing with, but people don't stop and listen. They have their answer ready before the last word is of the last person's mouth. And you can still agree, and like you said, it's about agreeing to disagree, but let's get on with it.
But you have to understand what he's thinking, or try to understand, so that you understand his point of view. Because as the rabbi said, nobody's wrong. He may be right and you may be right.
Yeah.
But then you can't always be right.
Yeah.
That's why you need an arbitrator who has one side leaning this way and one side leaning that way.
Yep. Anyway, guys, thank you. It was a wonderful learning today because everybody participated, right, Tammy?
Right.
So good, Tammy.
Gail, you want some hair?
It grows,
and
it's hot. I don't know what it's like in Montreal.
Curl. I like curls.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
gonna be like,
Look,
It's curly. I brushed it.
Yeah, it's
It's
hot.
so
I don't know
short.
what
it's
it's
gonna
like
be
in
a
Montreal.
scorcher
Gotta
today.
curl it.
It was a scorcher yesterday.
Yeah.
And another one today.
Yeah, I
Gonna
think
be
my
41.
my hairdresser was overheated. She just put her fingers in and cut everything on top.
It's gonna
It'll
grow.
grow back.
Yeah, it'll grow
Have
back.
a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Adam, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How come it was difficult for me to sign on because it kept asking me that I have to authenticate myself? Why was it changed?
It was changed because Zoom had an update, and I updated my own Zoom account, and I think that the new security features are you need to choose one of three options. Have a password, which was the first option I chose a couple days ago, and everyone sort of couldn't get
Which
onto
password should I put? My own
No, but now
password
there's no
from
password.
Google?
Now, one of the options is all users must be an authenticated Zoom user. So you need to have a Zoom account with an email to get in. So, which I assume
I put
Zoom
my
users
Google
do.
my Google address and it authenticated me.
Because you have a Zoom account. So
Yeah, but it took me 10 minutes and I
I'm
missed
sorry.
10 precious minutes from the class.
Okay. Well, it's on
I-
YouTube, so
Did you know